Methods in Python. What's a method? What are objects? So what is a method? We'll talk about the init method, the self parameter, and magic methods. A method is a piece of code to execute on an object. It belongs to a class. This is an abstract data type, or say a blueprint. It does not hold any values itself, but decides how objects of its kind will be structured. This is a car. A class decides its structure, what attributes it will possess, and what methods it will support. This car black Verna is an object of this. This is a black Hyundai Verna that runs on diesel. This is the car class with the attributes brand, model, color, and fuel, and the methods start, halt, drift, speed up, and turn. Black Verna is an object of the car class. An object is an instance of a class and can have its own properties and behavior. This is how we create the object Black Verna. This passes these 4 arguments to the init method of the car class. To access the value of an attribute, we use the dot operator. So what really is a method? A method is like a function, but it belongs to a class, is called on an object, and can modify that object. Here, we call the drift method on this object. Like a function, a method may take in arguments and return something. This here is a class try. It prints hello to a name and also returns the name. Obj is an object of this class. If we call print hello on this with the value Ayushi, it prints hello Ayushi and also returns the value Ayushi. So a method is a way to do something on an object to probably change its state. Now in a language like C++, you have constructors. A constructor is a special function and shares its name with the class it belongs to. We use it to initialize its attributes. But in Python, we use the init method. This is class animal and its init method. It takes 2 arguments, species and gender, and initializes the class attributes with these values. Now Fluffy is an animal, a female dog. When we create this object, it calls up this init method and initializes species and gender to dog and female. Now when we access the gender for Fluffy, it says she's female. This is another class try2. This does not have the init method. Obj2 still prints hello. Notice the double underscores around the word init? That's because it's a magic method. Keep learning to find out more about magic methods in the later lectures. And what is this self parameter every method takes? Well, we need it because it tells the interpreter to deal with the current object. Initialize attributes, but for which object? The current object. In Java, you used the this keyword to tell it to handle this object. In this one, write goes to state and this simply prints that. It isn't initializing attributes for the object. Here though, the values 86, 95 and 85 get into physics, chemistry and maths. These are used to initialize the attributes for the object. Now when we access the value for chem for roll1 object using the dot operator, we have 95. Notice that we use self and the dot operator before referring to an attribute here. So the self parameter tells it to deal with this object, though we can't really call it anything. Here we call it this OPJ and it works just the same. Python also has some special methods that it calls magic methods or dunders. You can easily recognize these as they have double underscores around the name. Such methods allow functionality normally not representable by a regular method. These are four such methods for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and bitwise AND. Init is a magic method too. We'll talk about this at length. Now you know what methods are. Next we'll compare them to functions. Stay tuned.